Hello, welcome to For Goodness Sakes by Mean Granny Anderson. I've been working on some things to put out there, and this one I decided I would try tonight. This is my third attempt at recording it, so I hope it will be worth watching. It's called Love is Stronger, Choose Love. One night, sleeping in our camper after our house burned down, I woke up to the camper rocking back and forth. My first thought was of a bumper sticker I'd seen recently on another camper. It was, "Don't come a knockin' if the camper is rockin'." But when I looked at my over at my husband sound asleep, I realized that only rocking that night was going to be from the howling wind outside the camper. But I had trouble going back to sleep, so I decided to open the window shade by my head and look out at the stars. Stargazing often calms me and helps me sleep. Years ago, when we were visiting my in-laws' home in the small town where my husband grew up, the adults were talking in the house when I noticed that the kids had gone outside. It was such a beautiful night, so I decided to go check on the children. As I slipped out the back door, I heard the children's voices in the front yard. My son, who was about 11, was explaining something to his little sister and their younger cousins. Curious as to what he might be teaching them, I snuck toward the corner of the house and stood there listening. I heard my son say, "Yes, there's one. I bet that's Grandpa Brady's. I never knew him, but Mom talks about him. And see that one over there? That could be Great Grandma ours. Tiny Grandma, she was called. She was so short, but she lived into her 90s, and she lived with Mom's family when Mom was a kid." Then one of the younger cousins spoke up. "What about our great grandpa? I wonder which one is his." What are they talking about? I wondered. All those relatives are deceased. I stepped around the corner to see them looking up at the night sky. There weren't many lights on the edge of town, where in the little town where my in-laws lived, so the children could see the many stars that were in the sky that night on that clear night. I call the stars God's night lights. My son heard me and said, "Oh, hi, Mom. I was just showing them the stars. You know, there are ones for all the people who have died. We were just deciding which star was probably Grandpa's and which one was Grandma, ours. Want to watch with us?" "Yes," my daughter added. "Come look at the stars with us, Mom." So I stargazed with them for a while, and since that night, I like believing that stars are our loved ones watching over us. So stargazing is an example to me of part of nature's power to comfort and heal, to inspire and calm. It's whether it's a walk in the woods, a stroll along the ocean, or your favorite little stream, or digging in your garden, or some other way that you connect with nature, it is powerfully good for the human soul and mind. And the best thing is, nature is free and available to all of us, whether we're rich or poor, old or young, healthy or unhealthy. Why else would we take flowers or a plant to someone in the hospital? We know in our hearts that nature is good for us. But back to my sleepless night in the camper with the wind howling. When I opened the shade, hoping to see the stars, I was surprised to see a very bright light shining through the window. At first I thought it was a barn light, but soon realized it was the most beautiful full moon. It lit up the whole sky, including the small clouds blowing by it. Amazing. Yes, I do love the night sky, whether I'm looking at stars or a beautiful moon. Often at night, troubling thoughts wake me up. When I look out and see the beauty of the night sky, usually the troubling thoughts are replaced. Well, usually by non-troubling thoughts, things that calm me and make me smile. Sometimes if I focus on the positive thoughts and ideas, I can go back to sleep. But just as often they nag at me sweetly until I arise from my bed and go write them down. The thought going through my head this morning was love is stronger, choose love. I wasn't sure what that meant till I started writing. Lately, the news is all about horrible things and people, illness and hatred, crime and corruption. It creates a real sense of hopelessness, anger, and fear if you listen too much to it. People are blaming and fighting with each other, even seeing family and friends as evil. It's awful. But if we open our hearts up, we can see that most people want similar things, even if they might create those things in life a bit differently than the way we go after them. If we talk with and listen to each other, sharing our loves, concerns, hopes, values, and dreams, we can find common ground and wise, rational solutions. Love is stronger than hatred. Goodness is more powerful than evil. So gaze at the stars, look for happiness, reach out in kindness to others, walk your dog or pet your cat or hug your loved ones, say hello and smile at the people you meet. Appreciate all that's good in your life. Expand it in any way you can. That's why I guess it was saying in my head, make love stronger. Choose love and goodness. That's all for goodness sakes by mean old granny. Have a great day. Good night.